Hello, we are here to discuss transposons and mechanism of transposition in bacterial system. Myself, Dr. Vijay Kumar, teaching in microbiology at Bhaskaracharya College of Applied Sciences, University of Delhi. Today, we discuss this transposon topic under four major headings, starting with general features, followed by classes of transposons, detailing in prokaryotic transposon system, different types of eukaryotic transposons, bacteriophage mu transposon, and different types of transposition. Coming with definition of transposable element, you may define transposable element as a segment of DNA, a mobile genetic element that can mobilize from one location of the genome to another location of the genome. They are also called as jumping genes. They are present ubiquitously both in prokaryote as well as eukaryotic genomes. Their presence is quite normal. In case of prokaryote, they can be transferred from within cell's chromosome from one location to other location, as well as from chromosomal DNA to plasmid DNA or to a phage chromosome. In case of eukaryotes, they can transpose, that is, they can be mobilized from one chromosome to another chromosome. The mechanism, the major mechanism to mention briefly, how this transposon gets integrated is the basis of non-homologous recombination. In order to get integrated at a target site, the transposon does not require homology. Such kind of recombination in which DNA of different types can fuse is called as non-homologous recombination. That is, it does not require sequence homology to get recombined. Transposable elements cause genetic changes, and they can be reason for the evolution of genomes in the course of evolution. And their integration does not limit to non-gene locations. They can be integrated into the genes also, hence they can cause mutations, chromosomal mutations. They may be inserted into regulatory sequences, as well as they can be inserted into gene region, so they modify gene expression significantly. Transposable elements can be classified broadly into two different types. First one are normal DNA transposons and retrotransposons. DNA transposons are those which encode proteins which are required for movement of DNA, that is the transposon segment, directly to a new position. Or they may be they replicate their DNA and then integrate that replicated DNA elsewhere in the genome. That is the mode of transportation. The form of transportation, the form of transposition is DNA. If a given transposable element is mobilized from one part of the genome to other part of genome in form of RNA transcript, then you refer that transposon as a retrotransposon. Unlike normal transposon, they encode a reverse transcriptase and make DNA copies of the RNA transcript. Then that new DNA copy get integrated at different sites, target sites. Generally, they are present in eukaryotes only. However, there may be some exceptions. Now let us look into transposable elements in prokaryotes. You may classify them broadly into two different types. First one are insertion sequences, insertion sequence elements, IS elements. They may be called as simple transposons. And you have compound or complex kind of transposons, which are simply referred as TN transposons. Now let us look into simple transposons or insertion sequence elements. These are simplest type of transposable elements, and they are found in bacterial chromosomes and plasmids. They are simple because as you look into their structure, they have a transposase gene that is anchored by two invertedly repeated sequences, two IR sequence on left IR sequence, left IR element, and right IR element is there next to the transposase gene. So their structure is quite simple. That is why they may be called as simple transposon, or alternatively insertion sequences, IS sequences or IS elements. The figure that is shown here is an example of IS1 element. You may observe that the left IR and the right IR are positioned in a head-to-head manner, opposite to each other. Their size may range between 768 base pairs to 5 kilo base pairs. That is, relatively they are small in size. And the first insertion sequence element, the IS1, was identified in E. coli genome in Galactose operon, that is having a size of 768 base pair long, but it is present almost 4 to 19 copies within E. coli chromosome. And one typical feature of these IS elements is that all known IS elements show inverted terminal repeats, IR repeats, as shown in this figure. Now let us look into role of these insertion sequence elements, IS elements. The integration of IS element, like any other transposon, may lead to change in the gene expression if they are inserted into the coding sequence. Further, they may alter the expression of adjacent genes also if they are interacting, if these genes are interacting in the function. They may also result in different kind of deletions in insertions as well as crossing over. Then as you look into the second type of transposons, which are more complex than simple transposons, they are TN transposons. They are also similar to IS elements, but they are more complex structure because they carry additional genes. You may divide them into two broad classes: composite transposon and non-composite transposon. The composite transposons carry genes in addition to transposase gene. Genes such as antibiotic resistance or some genes involved in metabolism, some additional functions may be present within the composite transposon. One best example for this composite transposon is TN10, which is a composite transposon with 9.3 kilobase pair in length and includes 6.5 kilobase pairs of internal region. The total size is 9.3 kilobase pair. However, the transposase gene as well as the tetracycline resistant gene, which together make up 6.5 kilobase pair. Like simple transposon, their structure also contains sequences which are anchoring, which are adjacent to the central region. However, one composite transposon will contain two IS elements, one is at left terminal and one is at right terminal. So this is the typical structure of composite transposon. That is, they themselves carry insertion sequence elements. Two insertion sequence elements are present at both sides of a composite transposon. So their structure is relatively complex than simple transposons which we studied earlier. This TN10 carries a tetracycline resistant gene, TCR, so that gives additional functions for this transposon. Then when you look into structure of non-composite transposon, which is a second type of these complex transposons, they also carry genes like antibiotic resistant gene like that of the composite transposon, but the difference is that they do not terminate with IS elements. They do not terminate with IS elements, rather they are terminated with simple repeated sequence. Simple repeated sequence like that of IS element. So one best example is the TN3, transposon 3, which is a non-composite transposon and measures about 5 kilobase pair in size. It has 3 genes at least, one transposase gene, TN, which is encoded by TNPA gene, then a resolvase protein which is encoded by TNPB, and a beta lactamase enzyme, BLA. These 3 genes make up the transposon and they carry left inverted repeat and right inverted repeat. They do not have this non-composite transposon, do not have IS elements, rather they have simple left and right inverted repeat sequences which are small in size, just 38 base pairs. So that is the information about prokaryotic system. Now let us go ahead into eukaryotic transposons. Before going with eukaryotic transposon, we should recall the major contribution of Barbara McClintock, who initially discovered these transposons during her research at Cold Spring Harbor Laboratory, New York. She was also recipient of Nobel Prize in Physiology and Medicine in 1983 for this discovery of mobile genetic elements or jumping genes. Because she has extensively worked on these transposable elements, especially in corn, Gia maize, corn plant, Gia maize plant during 1940-1950s. And finally she could prove to the world that such elements, jumping elements, do exist. If you look at general properties of plant transposons possess ITR sequences and they generate short repeats at target site. A target site is the one where transposon going and integrating at another part of the chromosome, that is called as the target site. Like any other transposon, they may activate or repress target gene if they are integrated into the gene and cause chromosomal mutations. Plant transposons broadly are of 2 types. One autonomous type and the second one is non-autonomous transposon. It is based on their mobility, independence of mobility. Autonomous transposons are able to move themselves. They do not require presence of other transposon. They transpose themselves, whereas non-autonomous elements cannot transpose themselves, rather they require presence of another transposon. They are called non-transposable element. We will see 2 examples for each one in further slides. McClintock demonstrated purple spots in otherwise white corn, Gia maize kernels, which are resultant of the transposable element, and she could decipher the genetic basis of purple color formation and showed that this purple color formation in white kernel is due to transposable elements. You might have noticed that there is some variegated coloring in corn seeds, and we will see how this purple color forms and what is the genetic mechanism involved. This coloring in kernel is decided by a particular gene known as C gene. If this C gene is under normal condition, in normal condition this C gene encodes color purple and results in purple color. Either it is both alleles are normal, or one allele is normal and the other allele is mutant. If this gene is mutated, the mutant version, both recessive condition, if it exists in recessive condition, then it encodes for white kernel. The kernel color alleles or traits are unstable, said to be unstable in maize plant. And the reversion of mutant form of C to normal C gene occurs in a cell. In that case, cell will produce purple pigment because the color gene starts producing color now. Otherwise, a recessive form of the C or mutant form of the C cannot produce color, so the kernel remains white in color. During development, sometimes this reversion can happen. That is, a mutant form of the C, small c, may be reversed back to capital C, that is wild type of C. If that happens, then the color appears as a spot. So earlier the reversion, so larger is the spot. So the McClintock, she concluded that the C allele, the formation of small c allele, is actually resultant of the non-autonomous transposon called DS element. DS is a non-autonomous transposable element that gets inserted into wild type C gene, capital C gene. So the function of capital C is now dissociated or rendered inactive. So it cannot produce color. Because the function of this non-autonomous element is to disrupt the function of color gene, so you call this as the dissociation element. Whereas autonomous transposon, there is one autonomous transposon AC that mobilizes the movement of DS element. Now let us look into the different stages. As you can see here, this picture shows the structure of AC element, activator element, which is an autonomous transposable element in maize. It has got one intron and then different exons and can be transcribed. So it produces a transposase protein, transposase enzyme, which mobilizes dissociation element, DS element, which is a non-autonomous transposable element. The AC element, which is an autonomous element, is having a size of 4563 base pairs, and there are 11 base pairs terminal repeats, and there is one transcription unit encoding 807 amino acid transposase, 807 amino acid long transposase protein, as said in the figure. It produces a transposase protein which is having a size of 807 amino acids. This transposase through this transposase protein, AC gene activates DS. And now you may get question that what is the size of DS? The DS size, the DS element size varies in length as well as the sequence, but it possesses same terminal repeats like that of the AC element. In fact, it is said that the DS elements are derived from AC element. Many DS elements are deleted or rearranged versions of AC. As you can see here, there is lot of comparison between AC element and DS elements. The structure also having resemblance. Wherever sequence difference is there, that is not shown. These AC and DS, one important point is that the AC and DS transposons are developmentally regulated. That is, during the development, their regulation happens. These AC-DS transpose only during chromosome replication and do not leave copies. Here I want to show you the effect of these AC and DS elements on kernel color. In normal case, when DS gene, the DS element is not disrupting the function of color gene, then the color gene is producing purple color pigment and the kernel develops into purple kernel. However, in most of the early in the development, the AC element mobilizes the DS element, and the DS element which is near adjacent or in near vicinity of color gene gets integrated. The DS element gets integrated into the C gene because that is the target site. Now, as the DS get integrated, so color gene cannot produce color protein, so the kernel develops white in color, which is a mutant version. Now the case is clear. If C gene is not disrupted, the kernel will be purple in color. If the C gene is disrupted, then the kernel will be white in color. Now you may get a question that then what about spotted appearance of kernel? Once the DS gene is integrated into the C gene, sometimes it may be reversed back. It may exit itself from C gene. So in that case, C gene can gain normal function. So those cells which have gained normal function now starts appearing as small purple spots over the white kernel. So early the development, earlier is the reversion, larger is the spot size, and later is the reversion in the development, then smaller is the spot size. So that is the molecular basis for appearance of spots over the kernel structure, as shown in the figure, in the main figure. These spots are due to reversions happened in the otherwise mutant form of the C gene. Now let us look into transposable element in other systems such as yeast. Yeast has transposable element which are called as TY element. TY stands for transposon of yeast. They are also similar to bacterial transposons. They have terminal repeated sequences, long terminal repeated sequences, and they encode for different proteins. And then these TY elements share some properties with retroviruses, so they are called as retrotransposons. They also synthesize, that is, they are transcribed into RNA, and that RNA is reverse transcribed into DNA, and that DNA integrates at new chromosomal site. So EST-TY elements, they are retrotransposons by nature. Otherwise, they do not have large function within yeast genetics. Then, as you look into Drosophila transposons of the Drosophila, which are also called as P elements. The male sterility in Drosophila is decided by these P elements through what is called as hybrid dysgenesis. Let us look into the role of transposons in Drosophila. There are about 15% of P elements within Drosophila genome. That is, almost 15% of Drosophila genome contains these transposable elements, which are also called as P elements, which vary in length between 500 base pair to 3003 kilo base pairs approximately. They encode for a repressor protein in their cytoplasm. The P elements encode for a repressor protein in their cytoplasm, which is important for stability of the P strain. So, if this repressor protein is not there, then P elements get activated and the strain gets unstable. In other way, they are unstable when they are crossed with wild type female, because they do not have, the wild type female do not have repressor protein in their cytoplasm. This hybrid dysgenesis is the defect that arises from crossing of specific strains of Drosophila. Let us see. First, let us see the, before discussing about hybrid dysgenesis, first look at into Drosophila P element structure. This is a typical Drosophila P element structure with 2.9 kilo base pair in length, as well as there are 3 introns and 4 exons, and this transposon is anchored by both left and right side. It is flanked by 31 base pair inverted repeat. Now, as you look at the general mechanism of hybrid dysgenesis, as you can see in this figure, the P elements are repressed. The P elements are repressed when a sperm not containing P element and the female is passing P element, then they are not repressed. P elements are repressed, and you have normal Drosophila fly. But if these P elements are taken or passed from male cell, male gamete, because the female gamete, the egg, do not have repressor protein in their cytoplasm, so the P element are activated, that results in mutation in the progeny. How this happens? The molecular mechanism involving Drosophila hybrid dysgenesis is shown in this slide. Drosophila embryo, as you see the Drosophila embryo, the P elements which are shown in red bars mobilize from male part of the genome into the female part of the genome within embryo. That is, P elements transpose from male gamete to the female gamete genome. Thus, it results in mutation, especially at higher temperature. Then there is a case I want to here discuss two different cases. In one case, flies are sterile. The progeny flies are sterile because of hybridisgenesis, which is due to P element, presence of P element in male, as shown in the previous slide. If male Drosophila is passing P element, then it results in hybrid dysgenesis. If female is carrying the P element, then that does not result in hybrid dysgenesis. That is shown in detail here. For example, there is a case where the female Drosophila and male Drosophila produce normal appearing progeny. In case where the male Drosophila has P element and only DNA, no repressor, and as well as female also do not have any repressor, in that case the first progeny will be normal, but the flies become sterile because of hybrid dysgenesis, and that is the male Drosophila become sterile, and that results in hybrid dysgenesis. Reverse is the case if female cell carry P elements and male do not have P element. If there is P element in the male, they will be sterile anyway. So if male have no P element but female have P element, that does not cause any problem over the progeny, because along with the presence of P element, presence of repressor stabilizes the progeny. So flies become fertile. So the interaction between P element and repressor helps in maintaining stability of P element in Drosophila. So that decides whether flies will be fertile or flies will be sterile. If flies are becoming sterile, then you refer that as the hybrid dysgenesis. This slide illustrates the additional functions of P element in molecular biology, in experimentation. So using a ROSI plus gene, that is P elements can be used to introduce genes into Drosophila genome. By cloning a ROSI plus gene into bacterial plasmid vector and subsequently introducing that into the embryo, into the Drosophila embryo carrying that ROSI gene mutation, one can convert a ROSI mutant into a normal type, normal eye color gene. That ROSI protein encodes for the mutant protein. So the embryo that is receiving ROSI plus gene will be developing into a normal eye color. Like such kind of experiments can be used for in which P elements can be used, by which Drosophila genome can be normalized. Transposons not only present in lower category of eukaryotes, but they are also present in higher eukaryotes such as humans. Humans typically have retrotransposons, that is, the transposition happens through RNA copy. There are two broad categories of retrotransposons in human genome. They are short interspaced sequences, signs. The best example of sign is ALU1 sequence. And then The other category are called as long interspaced sequence or lines. The best example is L1 sequence. As you look into the L1 sequence, they are 300 base pair long with the repeats of 3 lakh to 5 lakh times, and they are flanked by 7 to 20 base pair direct repeats. Some are transcribed and they thought to move by RNA intermediate. These ALU1 signs can be detected in neurofibromatosis, introns, as well as their presence result in loss of exon and non-functional protein. Whereas long interspaced sequences are long in size, they are 6.5 kilobase per, but their number of repeats is just 50,000 to 1 lakh times. That is much less when compared to short interspaced sequences. They contain ORF with homology to reverse transcriptase, but they lack LTR sequences. That is left terminal repeats. Left terminal repeats they lack. Some cases of hemophilia are known to cause due to the presence of L1 insertion. As you look at the distribution of signs and lines in human genome, both have significant amount of distribution, up to 48% in total genome. That is almost 50% of human genome is full of these lines and signs. So you can imagine the diversity of signs and lines in human genome and their role, some hidden role, very unknown roles they may have. Then let us come to bacteriophage mu transposon. Mu stands for mutator, so that's why they're called as mu transposon. You may be aware that they have 37 kilobase per linear DNA with central phage DNA, and they have unequal lengths of host DNA also. And transposition is through DNA. They are replicate along with the E. coli DNA, and they exist in lysogenic phase. That is, during the lysogenic cycle, mu remains integrated in E. coli chromosome. This picture illustrates how the life cycle of bacteriophage mu, how it integrates into the genome of E. coli, and then it is passed through generations when it is present in the lysogeny cycle. Then when it switches to lytic cycle, that is, lytic cycle is induced from lysogeny, then it releases and spreads to other E. coli cells. Certain advantages and disadvantages are there for the experimental level of studying the mu. First of all, we study advantages, that they are normally found in bacterial genome, so there are very few problems with the homology to existing sequence in the chromosome. That is in contrast to most other transposon. And it does not require a separate vector system, rather it itself can be used as a vector. There are wide variety of useful mutants of mu which have been generated. The disadvantage is that when it is converted into lytic cycle, then it can kill the host cell. So with that, we can briefly discuss mu genome with this photograph. There are head and tail genes in the transposon, as well as you have left and right inverted repeat sequences. So the size is that approximately 37 kilobase pairs linear DNA. Then we study different models of transposition, how transposition happens actually, how transposons move from one part of genome to other part of genome. So as I said, there is transposons encode a transposase element, and this transposase gene, transposase protein, creates a cut in the DNA at target site, and it gets integrated. However, what is important is that some transposons transpose as through replication, that is, their number is replicated, whereas some transposons simply move from one position to other position without leaving copy. Some transposons leave copy, their copy number is increased, and some transposons do not increase their copy number. So let us see, there are two broad categories of transpositions. Replicative and non-replicative transposition. There are two different kinds of transpositions. One is replicative, that is, their number is increased, whereas the other category is called as non-replicative. This figure illustrates the transposition of IS element. IS element, the orange color region, encodes for the transposase, which creates a cut in the target site, and this cut is something like restriction enzyme cut, and once this cut happens, then DNA gets integrated, the transposon gets integrated into the target site, and the gaps are filled with the help of DNA polymerase, and then phosphodiester backbone is sealed with DNA ligase. So hence transposition takes place. So this slide shows transfer of DNA from donor DNA, transfer of transposon from donor DNA to a recipient DNA. Suppose you consider that both are two different chromosomes, then how this transposition takes place? This transposition takes place through co-integration, what is called as co-integration, where the single-stranded regions of the transposon filled by DNA replication copy the transposon and then overlap with the target sequence and then undergo recombination. Following recombination between duplicated transposable element, these generate two copies, each with a transposable element. So that is how actual transposition takes place. This is called as co-integration. The co-integration is the movement of a transposon from one genome, that is one plasmid, supposed to another DNA, from one kind of DNA to another kind of DNA, then integrates transposon in both genomes. With this, we can summarize transposons, that transposons are those which do not require homology for their integration, and they may be mobilized from one place of the part of the genome through other part of the genome in form of DNA or in form of RNA. Barbara McClintock is the scientist who discovered transposons as mobile genetic elements in maize plant. There are two major classes: simple transposons and complex transposons. Complex transposons, again two types. They are composite, non-composite transposons. In maize plant, the The kernel color is decided by AC and DS transposon system. AC is an autonomous transposon, whereas DS is non-autonomous transposon. East Saccharomyces cerevisiae has retrotransposons which are called TY elements. Retrotransposons in Drosophila, we studied that they are called as P elements and they are responsible for hybrid dysgenesis, which result in formation of sterile progeny. This particular thing happens when male strains carry the P element and females lack repressor in their cytoplasm. We also studied that bacteriophage mu is a retrotransposon and that integrates in E. coli genome and can cause mutations. Human genome has two important types of retrotransposons. They are sines and lines. Short interspersed nuclear element and long interspersed nuclear element. We have discussed that they are present in large amount, almost 50% of genome, and they are responsible for various genetic diseases. The movement of transposon from one place to another place is referred as transposition, and two types of transpositions can take place. In one, copy number is not increased, that is called as the cut and paste transposition, which is non-replicative or conservative type, and another type of transposition is the copy and paste, which is replicative or non-conservative type, where the number is increased. Which type of transposition depends on the timing of 5' cut. The 5' side of the transposon cutting decides which kind of transposition takes place. With this, I would like to thank you for giving me this opportunity.